Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. You already know who it is. It is your boy Lewis, and I am checking in, and I'm back with another banger with yet another video. As you guys know the deal, man, you know how it is. If you're brand new, man, you got 3 simple rules that you need to follow. If whenever you guys come to my channel, for those who already know, who already subscribing, you guys already know the drill. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to always receive the latest and greatest content from your boy, as I always do. Love and appreciate you guys for always taking the time to watch the video, man. I truly appreciate it. And at the end, as you always guys know, as I always say, make sure to share this video, man. I appreciate it. But once again, man, let's get right into it. So the reason I wanted to do this is because, as you guys know, as everybody knows, it's worldwide news already. As I reported earlier, there was a proposed trade that went through. The Knicks decided to trade Kristaps Porzingis along with Courtney Lee and Tim Hardaway Jr. with Trey Burke to the Dallas Mavericks in exchange for Dennis Smith Jr., DeAndre Jordan, and Wesley Matthews. And so the reason that I'm mentioning about this video is because what's so crazy is that the New York Knicks just played the Dallas Mavericks last night. And Luka Doncic, at the end of the game, gave a dab to Kristaps Porzingis. And so now these guys are teammates. And what's so crazy is that Luka Doncic is 19 years old and KP is 23. And he may be injured, but they said that right now that he's doing some on-court drills, and that right now that he's been dunking the basketball and he's been shooting some shots. So that's a really good sign for the Dallas Maverick fans. If you're the Dallas Mavericks, you have to be very excited because you got a highly skilled 7'3" big man, athletic in Porzingis, who is young, and you pair him with a 19-year-old rookie who's taking the league by storm, and Luka Doncic. I'm gonna say this right now, guys, and it's crazy that I didn't even think about this, but with this move right here, the Mavericks might be a dynasty in the making. You heard it from me, ladies and gentlemen. The Dallas Mavericks might be a dynasty in the making. Why do I say that? You just put a young, promising Porzingis who has all-star potential with another all-star potential player in Luka Doncic. You have 2 European players in prime positions. You have them at the. You have a guy who's playing the point, making plays in Doncic with his versatility, and then you have KP with his versatility at the center position, athletic. And what's so crazy about it, ladies and gentlemen, both players are skilled at their positions. They bring versatility to their position. They bring the skill set to their position. That is really scary. Now, if you're the New York Knicks, one thing you could say is, I know Chris Webber was going out here with Kevin Harlan in tonight's game, Bucks-Raptors game, saying that the Knicks got cap space. But the problem that I have is that I don't trust the Knicks. I don't trust them. Because, yeah, they have 71 million cap space and they could sign 2 free agents. And they're like, well, the Knicks have been tanking to get Zion Williamson, but we can't guarantee that even if they might get the #1 pick. Because suppose that the Knicks don't get Zion Williamson in the draft. And then if they don't get him, what if they strike out in free agency? Because the Knicks have not been a credible destination for quite a long time. The last time that we got a marquee player was Amari Stoudemire. And I thought that he was going to help bring the Knicks back up to prominence. But what happened? Amari Stoudemire got injured, and we had really at least solid pieces in 2011. Right up until Melo pushed his way out of Denver, and James Dolan, that effing moron, forcing Donnie Walsh, who was the president of basketball operations at the time for us. We had a really nice, good deal of players. What does James Dolan do? Pressures this dude to get Carmelo in the trade. And at the time, I was excited, but what I didn't realize was that was actually going to be the beginning of the end, because we had to bring Chauncey Billups, who the Knicks did not have any interest for, but had to bring him in the deal too in order to get Carmelo Anthony. And I was mad because if the Knicks were patient enough, they could have waited till the offseason so that Carmelo could sign. And who knows what kind of pieces we honestly could have surrounded Carmelo with. See, but that was at that time. Now, we would talk about, well, Lewis, the Knicks made the playoffs in 2011, 2012, and 2013. But what happened after that? Everything went downhill. And so I was pissed off because it was kind of like we really got Carmelo when we had nothing to show for it. Now the Knicks fans, they're gonna show Melo love because he's from New York and he has some he has some solid seasons for us, but Melo's never really had like a standout season to say that he's like one of the best players in the game. Like I said, Melo's had his moments, but honestly, when I look at Carmelo's career, this is why I said that Carmelo's not a leader, and at best, he's like your third best player on a championship team. Maybe even fourth best, but at best, your third best player on a championship team. And it sucks because in one part, we kind of really didn't build around Melo, but it's like, what's Melo's strengths, honestly? Because all he does is post up in isolation. And quite honestly, it's not winning basketball. And Melo was a poor leader in his time, in his whole career. Like, if you guys haven't checked it out, you guys go back up to my video on why Carmelo Anthony, to me, caused his own demise in the NBA. The Houston situation, I don't really fault him. But everywhere else that he's been to, honestly, I like I said, I pull no grudges, man. It's like I can't give him any excuses. I gave Melo many passes, but it was a reason why it didn't work out. Melo ended up being much more of a cancer than he was a cure for the Knicks organization. I'm sorry. Which is why, but that also again falls back on James Dolan and management, and this is what I don't like. And so with the Knicks, yeah, we get 71 million cap space, but I'm just mad that we lost Tim Hardaway Jr. And we lost Porzingis for nothing. And now I get it, Porzingis hasn't played. You don't want to run the risk of paying him money, especially with the injury he's had. Is he really going to be the guy? Listen, Porzingis to me was not going to be the franchise player. He's a franchise type of a player, but to me, he's a guy who, again, he's more so your second best player on your team. Not the guy. To me, I think the pressure of being the man, to me, was not going to be something that Porzingis was going to be able to handle, especially with the fact that I remember that when Carmelo first was gone from the Knicks, KP was, being the man every night. He had to deal with a lot of aggressive double teams, triple teams, and he really wasn't ready for that, especially because if you look at his conditioning, it's still not up to par, and KCP to me is still not strong enough. He's still lanky and he's slender, so he still needs to build muscle for me in order to and still expand his game in order for me to take him seriously. But look, y'all, with the rise of Luka Doncic, man, and now you put KCP with the Mavs, he's now in an organization where KP, just wants to be in an organization where he feel like he's welcome. And with the Knicks, like it started that way, but but losing Carmelo, for him was a big blow. The franchise says that they're committing to him, but honestly, what he was upset about was quite a couple of things. Number one, the Knicks were interested in getting Anthony Davis. And so what they were trying to do was a sign where KP signs, or Porzingis signs, and then they trade him to get Anthony Davis, because this was, to me, what the plans were. And so they were trying to Blake Griffin him in this ordeal. And so when you're looking at it that way, it's like, well, KP's like, well, they say that they're trying to commit to me, but honestly, I'm not really part of their long-term plans. So, and I think that that's just not suitable. On top of that, they told KP that, yo, like, you look like you could be ready to play, but we don't want you to play. So we want you to just continue to sit out so that the Knicks could continue to tank. And I think KP was not cool with that because he wants to be on the court. Like, the Knicks fans, we've suffered enough for so many years. Like, it's like we have not had a winning product on the floor. And so now the fact that you're telling him to sit, and now we have no really star player to watch. It's like, look, I'm big on Dennis Smith Jr., and he has a lot of upside, but right now he's been very inconsistent. And so I don't know how long it's going to take him to take it. And to me, I don't even know how long the Knicks are going to keep him. And now it's like the Knicks have so many guards on their team. You got Moutier, you have him, you have, I forgot the other point guards that are on the team, but you have him, you got them. And so I will have to take a look back at the Knicks roster again because, I just kind of forgot. But still, like, you have, like, guards. It's like you traded that to do that. And it's like Hardaway Jr., that's a big blow. And so it's like now we don't really have anybody to watch now. And DeAndre Jordan, let's face it, like, his defense hasn't been good. I mean, his rebounding has been solid as usual, but his defense hasn't really been that good, and he's not going to stay with the Knicks, even though they have a good center. Wesley Matthews, you get a guy who stretches the floor, three-point shooter. I shouted him out in one of my videos with the fact that he is the first undrafted player to knock over 1,500 threes in his career. Shout out to Wesley Matthews for that. But again, if you're the Dallas Mavericks, you have to be excited. And shout out to Mark Cuban and the organization for pulling this move and trying to put themselves in with this move. Now the Mavericks have become a destination to where they can attract free agents. And quite honestly, I like what the Dallas Mavericks did, but the fact that they finessed my Knicks and the Knicks once again I feel like James Dolan to me had a hand in this, man, and just let Scott Perry and Steve Mills like make this move. I feel like they were pressured into doing this. I don't care what anybody says, and this is why I said if the Knicks are going to get back to prominence, I've said it many times, James Dolan does not know a goddamn thing about basketball. That nigga needs to effing get the hell out of New York. We need an owner that's committed to winning, and that's going to change the culture in New York. But this dude is about his money. He does not give a damn, honestly, about the players. He does not give a damn about this organization. And here we keep talking about Dan Gilbert, but at least the Cavaliers have a championship in this modern time. And at least they've tried to compete for the last 4 years, have it or not. But with the Knicks, I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of this move because I felt like we could have done something better. I felt like we were just a little too impatient. I know Chris Webber's trying to do that, but it's like there's just a lot of what ifs. And it's like the cards are going to have to fall into place in order for us to be prominent. And I just don't know right now, honestly. But again, shout out to the Mavericks, man, for making this move. They made a good decision. So, I'm not, but we straight up got finesse, man. And it's just not cool. People are going to say, yo, just be patient. And it's like, we've been saying that for the longest now, and it's just like the way the Knicks have brought in people, just bringing the wrong personnel, and just the decisions that they've made. It's just honestly ridiculous. And it's kind of like, and I feel like even though we got $71 million in cap, if we don't, like I said, 2019 to me is going to really determine what our future is going to look like. If we don't make big moves, quite honestly, we're pretty much going to be stuck in the mud for the next 10 to 15 years. And I'm just going to look at James Dolan like, so you pressured these two guys to make this move, to trade Tim Hardaway and KP. We get nothing in return, because what also this move does is that now it kind of takes us away from the Anthony Davis sweepstakes. But even though we know that Anthony Davis signed with Clutch Sports and his intent is to go to the Lakers, so I get all that. But the whole idea is that now that KP is with Luka Doncic, you're looking at the modern Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, because KP is Dirk Nowitzki 2.0. And so what I'm telling you is Dirk Nowitzki ain't really retired. You know why? Because old man Dirk is gone and young man Dirk enters in KP. And Luka Doncic, to me, is going to be the Dallas Mavericks' Steve Nash in terms of his playmaking ability. Just a bigger version. So I feel like he's Steve Nash on steroids. That's how I look at it. He's not the shooter that Steve Nash is, at least not yet right now. But Luka's got just a ton of potential, man. The brother's averaging 20.6 rebounds, 5 assists. And I'm telling you guys right now, with this Euro team we got right here, this little dynamic duo mob squad we got right here, these two gangsters right here that we got in Porzingis and Doncic, man, I'm telling you right now, man, this Maverick team is, to me, low-key going to be a dynasty. And don't forget, you just got Tim Hardaway Jr. and you got Harrison Barnes. So you got a nice little team. And again, you just made the Mavericks a free agent destination by acquiring these players. And as long as Porzingis feels like he's wanted, he feels like he's a part of this organization, and he's going to be playing for Rick Carlisle, who's all about the motion offense. So KP is going to be getting looks, definitely looks around the basket. And I think with a coach like him, I think would be beneficial for Porzingis. And look at it this way with Carlisle. He's never had an offensive big man like Porzingis, probably since the time he coached Jermaine O'Neal, who, again, one of the most underrated players in NBA history in Jermaine O'Neal. In his time, bro, that dude was a beast. Jermaine O'Neal was definitely a beast. 96 draft class, one of the greatest drafts in NBA history. No cap. Saying it right now. But it's unbelievable, man. I think it's like, yo, Dallas, yo, kudos to you guys. You guys did an unbelievable job with this trade. And the crazy part is it just came out of nowhere. It's like you were hearing rumblings, but it just came out of nowhere. And it's so funny that they just played each other last night. But it's crazy. Has the NBA world by storm, which I'm really anticipating to see what the trade deadline is going to look like from now all the way to February 7th, just right before the All-Star break. So things are going to be really interesting, and things are going to be heating up, quite honestly. Things are going to be heating up. But anywho, man, yo, I'm telling you, the Mavericks, in my opinion, guys, are going to be the next dynasty in the NBA coming with this move. Watch out. Watch out. I'm telling you, these guys work on their game. These guys complement each other so well. I could just see it working. They're good friends. And under the tutelage of Dirk Nowitzki, I'm telling you, KP is going to be a monster. The NBA is on notice. Yo, you guys, you better watch out. Like, I thought the Celtics were going to be a dynasty, but to me, there's a lot of uncertainty there. But I think with the Mavericks, I think they're going to be the next team. We talk about some of these teams like the Nuggets, they're deep, but it's like, again, we don't know. But I think with the Mavericks, I think the floodgates have opened to something that could be very special up down there in Big D. Pause. But anyway, man, ladies and gentlemen, man, this is Lewis again with yet another video, man. Once again, I love and appreciate you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you guys think that the Dallas Mavericks could potentially be the NBA's next dynasty? In my opinion, just by this move alone, making this surprise splash deal, making a splash in free agency, man, I think that is possible. Right now, it's Golden State's time. But, we don't know what 2019 and 2020 is going to happen for the Golden State Warriors because they have some decisions to make. But even then, so like I said, the Mavericks to me are going to rise to prominence, and it's probably going to be sooner than later. So again, man, let me know what you guys think. Is this team, honestly, could they potentially be the next dynasty with this move? Because I think they just made the Dallas an attractable destination again. Because if you guys remember, man, Mark Cuban, after that 2011 championship, just dismantled the team because he thought he could get Darren Williams and Dwight Howard, and he struck out on both of those. And then the Mavericks were really never anything after that, pretty much again. And so, but I think this is a new beginning, and it's going to be a new era. So, Dallas fans, you should be very excited. Knicks fans, once again, we're filled with uncertainty, man. Just put another paper bag over my head. It's like, I want to cheer for this team. Like, I love New York, man. I'm born and raised here, but it's like, I just don't know how James Dolan is still the owner of this team. It's just getting really frustrating. Like, hopefully with the 71 million, hopefully somehow by the grace of God, there's some good decision making. And it's kind of like, we have to put our faith in Scott Perry and we have to put our faith in Steve Mills. I just don't know. I don't trust it because I don't trust Dolan, and I feel like he pressured them into making that trade. We got to see what happens, but if the cards don't fall right, we're gonna have another egg laid in our faces, and I'm just gonna be like, to the point where I'm just gonna riot to where I petition James Dolan to get the hell out of New York. Because brother, you put us in shambles for the longest, and it's like enough is enough. Like, I want to see the Knicks winning again. I want to see the market winning again. We haven't won a championship in over 45 years. 45 years. And it's like the one attractable star that we only had, it's like we lose him. So it's like, now what are the Knicks going to watch? And even then, so like Madison Square Garden is still going to be expensive for tickets when these teams come to town with all this star power. So what is it? Even the teams that you don't even see on TV and players that you don't really hear and get recognition on television because of the markets that they play in, it's still going to be expensive for that. But anywho, man, shout out to the Dallas Mavericks. Knicks fans, Knicks, I don't know, man. I just don't know. So anyway, this is Lewis checking out with another video. And man, I truly appreciate you guys for watching, man. As always, man, this is Lewis, man. Bless up, one love, man. Peace. Thanks for watching.